Hi, Frank Backer here, and welcome to the Daily Peacemaker. I gotta tell you, man, I'm really upset and I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. I got up this morning, nice day. Said, maybe I'll go get a cup of coffee, relax a little bit. So I go get the car, drive, go get my coffee. Coming home, nice and relaxed. Boom! Out of nowhere comes his car, cuts me off. I mean, what a stupid jerk. He almost caused a big accident. My coffee spilled a little bit. I mean, some people are just so ignorant and so full of themselves. It's really disgusting. I mean, people like that, they make life difficult for everybody. It's almost like do they have any worth or value? Maybe they should just be locked in a closet and throw the key away. Human garbage. That's what some of these people are like. It's just so frustrating. Made me think of there's a thing in Christmas Carol where Scrooge talks about getting rid of the surplus population, and maybe that's a good idea. So I am so annoyed. But, this brings us to the third principle of Kingian nonviolence, which is attack the behavior, not the person. Another way that people paraphrase it is love the sinner, but not the sin. And those sound great, but they're so. I think this is probably the most difficult one of the six principles to live by, because we're just so prone to our first reaction when someone cuts us off or calls us a name or disagrees with something we say or has a different political opinion or does something that harms us or upsets us, or they attack our family. Our first response is one of what I call violence, attacking them. There's that old thing, that old saying, sticks, I think it was, what is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And I don't know, I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure where that originated, but names do really hurt people. When you start to castigate someone and call them worthless and a piece of garbage and stuff like that, I mean, it does hurt them. I got to fix my collar here. So that principle, to attack the behavior, not the person. And if you spin back to our beginnings here at Daily Peacemaker, our goal was to get people, ordinary people like you and I, to help create a culture of peace, based on how we act on a daily basis. And we describe the culture of peace as one in which the inherent worth and dignity of every being is honored and respected. So, we're talking about humans right now. And that notion of the inherent worth of every human. And I've talked to many people about that, and a lot of people, most people I would say that I talk with, say, well, that's not true. They'll say, 85, 90, even 90% of humans have a sense of worth and dignity. But there are some, they say, that are just not, they shouldn't be alive. They're human garbage. They don't have any worth or any value. So then I say to them, well, how do you decide which ones don't have any worth or value? And they kind of stumble around and say stuff about, how they act or what they believe. If so-and-so believes this or acts this way, they don't have any value. Excuse me. And point out to them there's a strong possibility that this person that you're designating as worthless and you're castigating them and all that stuff, there are probably other people that think that this same person is a pretty nice person and really has a lot of value to them. So that's one thing. And once you start, and like it also, who are you to decide that this person has no worth or any value? Um, and once you start to say that some people don't have any worth and any dignity or any value inherently, then where do you stop? You know, um, and yeah, I agree. It's a difficult thing sometimes to see a particular person and the fact that they might have any inherent worth of value. So when you strip it all down, what I think is either you believe that every human being has, even in the darkest place in their soul, they have a spark of the divine. They have a sense of worth and dignity. Even though it's obviously not very manifested, they still have that. And if you don't believe that, then I could understand where you would think some people are worthless. And so the other thing with that, when we castigate someone or call them worthless in a unconscious way almost, that we're, in the sense we're not aware, we're actually bragging about ourselves, because when we say that person is no good, at the same time we're saying not only are they no good or worthless, I'm a little bit better than them because I'm not like them, so I have some value. So it's a very difficult principle to follow, because like I said, we are so prone to attack the person when we feel outraged about something they've said or done, or the beliefs they have. So another thing where this happens is when we have a mutual friend, and we talk about this mutual friend. So you and I have a mutual friend over here, and we talk about them. And often the conversation ends up, if we both don't like that person, it ends up really castigating that person. What a jerk, and oh yeah, it's terrible. I don't want anything to do with him or her. So it's so manifest, and it seems so easy to for the first step to attack the person. So think about this during the next few weeks when excuse me, when you feel that someone said something you don't believe in, or they attack you in some way, they attack your family, they cut you off in traffic, they jump on you and castigate you for your beliefs or something. Think about how often you fall into that trap of attacking them. When they attack you, when you feel attacked, how you attack them, how you don't focus on their behavior, you begin to attack them. So just try to be aware of that, because you can. The more you become, if you believe everybody has, let me back this up. If you believe everybody has an inherent worth and dignity, then the more you can tune into the fact when you are not honoring that principle, when you are attacking the person, the more you can get an awareness of how often you do that, you can begin to step back a little, learn how to step back when someone attacks you or cuts you off, or slams you for your beliefs. You can begin to step back a little bit, and instead of attacking them, look at their behaviors or their beliefs or their opinions or how they're acting, and ask yourself why, you know, why is that person doing that? You know, a great example is getting cut off in traffic and the whole road rage and stuff. You know, and someone cuts you off and you get angry. Maybe they just got a call that someone of their family's at the hospital and they need to get there as quickly as possible. Or maybe they heard there's a fire at their house and they want to get there, you know, or, you know, someone has a belief system and they're pounding it forth and stuff. And you don't believe anything that they say. Maybe the point is not to attack them, but to step back a little bit and say, well, I wonder why they believe that. What's going on with them? Or there's some people that engage in really violent behavior. You know, they're terrible. They should be locked in jail. Electric chair. You know, get them off the face of the earth. Maybe look at their behaviors and try to understand why they're doing it. And the point is that this principle doesn't say that you are not responsible for your behaviors or your attitudes or your beliefs. There are consequences to those. They don't have to be violent consequences. But, you know, what's that saying? If you do the crime, you got to do the time. So the principle is not saying, oh, everybody's great, everybody has this great, wonderful thing about them, and they can do whatever they want, and they don't have to suffer the consequences. No. I was thinking about this. I wanted to say, I want to be perfectly clear about this point, that people are responsible for the consequences of their behavior. And I thought, when people say, I got to work on this, when people say, I want to be perfectly clear, it's like, well, are they saying they weren't clear before? Stuff, but that's a whole other thing. So the point is, you know, this principle is really, really hard, and you really have to work on it. And one of the best ways is to begin to get a sense of how violent we can be in our reactions, how we can really castigate other people. And, you know, if you believe they have a sense of dignity and worth, an inherent one that we all have, then maybe you can begin to see, well, maybe there's a better way to deal with this stuff, you know. And so there it is. I'll leave you with that. Did something really happen this morning to Frank or not? Oh, we'll see. All right. Focus on those, and we will see you again soon, and peace.